What is the strangest thing that has happened to you in a McDonald's? Surely everyone will tell you that they found a bug in their food, or that they saw a fight, but what I experienced was much, much worse. This happened to me while I was cleaning the McDonald's parking lot. It was a normal day, and as usual, the only thing on my mind was thinking about going home as soon as possible. While I was lost in thought, I began to hear footsteps approaching me. It didn't sound like the footsteps of a customer or a friend leaving with their food. They were the halting and furtive footsteps of someone stalking me. Those footsteps were coming from behind me, and they stopped the moment I turned around. I could vaguely make out someone hiding in the shadows. Did they want to rob me?
Who's there?
I plucked up my courage, grabbed the cleaning supplies, and decided to run to the front door. Suddenly, a silhouette interrupted me and stood in my way. It was a woman I knew. Her name was Sandra. She was a well-known girl in the area, but for all the wrong reasons. Sometimes she could be a very sweet girl, and even though we knew she worked the streets, she was very nice to everyone and never got in trouble. Other times, it was different. She would insult us and could behave very erratically. Some classmates told us stories of times that she had threatened them or tried to hit them, but those were only rumors. That day, she was stranger than usual. She was in her underwear, and even though she had known me for months, she tried to sexually proposition me, which I refused. That's when the chaos started. Furious, she pulled out a knife and pointed it at me.
Who the hell do you think you are to reject me? Do you think you're better than me? Do you think I'm worthless?
No, Sandra, I'm working. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect you. What's wrong? Are you all right?
Where am I? What's going on?
Sandra, you were...
Interrupting me, she lunged at me and threw me to the ground. She raised her knife with her eyes closed and brought it violently down towards my body. But to my surprise, she missed. The knife had embedded itself in the ground by the side of my head. Without touching a hair on my head, she raised her knife and drove it into the floor, again and again. For her last attack, Sandra opened her eyes and tried to stick it into me. But I stopped her, and by squeezing her wrist with enormous force, I managed to get her to let go. When I saw her face a second later, I realized that I hadn't outmatched her strength. She had simply zoned out. She had a blank stare and drool was dripping from her mouth. It looked as if she had rebooted. From one second to the next, her eyes seemed to zone in and out of focus. When they returned to normal, she acted like I wasn't even there, and then she ran into the McDonald's. Without wasting any time, I stood up and followed her at full speed.
Hey, how are you?
Sandra, you can't come in like that. Put on a shirt.
What did you just say?
Oh no, be careful!
Before my coworker Greg could react, Sandra desperately ran up to him and tried to hit him, but he dodged her and fell to the floor. Before he could get up, Sandra displayed brutal force and lifted the huge cash register to throw it at his prone figure. Her eyes were red and she was foaming at the mouth. It was terrifying. She was behaving as if she had turned into a monster. I ran towards her and managed to push her away just as she threw the cash register, which smashed to the floor, narrowly missing Greg. Even more frustrated with not being able to kill him, she started banging on all the tables with the terrifying war cry. The few customers that were still left at this time of night began to run as she lifted up the chairs and threw them against the glass. It worked out because there were no more people in danger of the projectiles. We were now alone with her.
Sandra, calm down.
Please, help me.
Of course we all want to help you. Calm down. Let go of that needle. Needle? What do you mean?
In answer to my question, my coworker saw Sandra's hand and, although it was very small, I could see a needle left in her hand.
Oh no.
Why do you want to help me? Nobody can help me. I don't need your help.
Watch out! Her face changed again!
With the needle in hand, Sandra rushed at me again, this time more determined than ever. She attacked me with a syringe and I managed to lock her hand. We both struggled to force the needle the other way.
Damn it, help me! I'm sorry. Security should take care of this. I'll go call them. No! Come help me! You coward!
While I was distracted, the woman kicked me in the stomach and I fell backward. She was about to pounce on me again, and this time I couldn't do anything to stop her. But to my luck, the strangest thing happened. As if someone had flipped a switch, Sandra decided not to attack me anymore and instead ran over to the ice cream machine to feed herself.
What?
Ice cream!
I ran in her direction and managed to get the syringe off her. She didn't even put up any resistance. She just kept devouring ice cream. A few seconds later, Greg and the security guard showed up and detained her until the police arrived a little while later and took her away. Soon after, we found out that Sandra hadn't been under the influence of any drugs, although she told everyone that she struggled with multiple personality disorder. She had absolutely no memory of what had happened to her, and when she saw the security video, she cried uncontrollably. Today she is off of the streets and is receiving help in a recovery center. As for my co-worker and the security guard, they were kicked out shortly after. The cameras captured how Greg almost left me to die, and the security guard had been sleeping in an office throughout the ordeal. As for me, I still work at McDonald's, but never again will I agree to work the night shift.
Adam had always been the type of guy who chased novelty. Living in a cozy apartment in Seattle with his girlfriend, Olivia, he worked a steady job as a software engineer, but his downtime was spent scrolling through obscure online shops, hunting for that next unique find. Olivia often teased him about it. "You're like a magpie, always after the shiny new thing," she'd say with a laugh, her green eyes sparkling as she curled up next to him on the couch. One rainy evening in late spring, Adam stumbled upon a website for a boutique perfume brand called Eternal Bloom. The site was sleek, minimalist, with photos of dew-kissed flowers and promises of scents derived from rare, hand-cultivated blooms. The flagship fragrance, Whisper of Eden, was touted as a limited edition release. Fresh, citrusy, with undertones of jasmine and something indefinably exotic. Reviews were sparse but glowing, and it was only available through this one site. Adam, intrigued by the exclusivity, ordered a bottle on impulse. "What do you think, all?" he said, showing her the confirmation email. Olivia sniffed the air dramatically. "As long as it doesn't smell like your gym socks, I'm game." Their relationship was solid, 3 years strong, built on shared Netflix binges, weekend getaways to the Cascades, and a mutual love for trying new things. But Olivia had her own life, too. A close-knit group of girlfriends, a demanding job that took her to conferences across the country, and dreams of starting her own consultancy one day. The perfume arrived a week later in a velvet-lined box, wrapped like a precious artifact. Adam spritzed it on, and the scent hit him like a wave. Fresh, intoxicating. "Holy shit, this is amazing," he muttered to himself in the bathroom mirror. Olivia agreed when she got home. "Wow, that's intense. Makes me want to drag you to bed right now." They laughed, and that night was electric. Adam wore it daily, and soon he craved more. Back on the Eternal Bloom site, he browsed for refills, and he noticed a tucked-away page. Exclusive garden tours. It described a private greenhouse in rural Washington where the brand's essences were extracted. "Experience the source of our magic," the blurb read. Limited spots, by invitation only. Adam, hooked, filled out the form without a second thought. "Hey, all, what if I check out this flower garden thing? It's only a couple hours' drive," he told her over dinner. She raised an eyebrow, fork paused midair. "A perfume garden? Sounds romantic. Why don't we go together?" "Ah, it's probably just a gimmick. I'll scope it out first," he replied, not wanting to admit how obsessed he'd become. The confirmation email came swiftly, with an address in the foothills near Snoqualmie. Adam drove out on a Saturday, leaving Olivia to her yoga class. The greenhouse was nestled in a verdant valley, a glass-domed structure surrounded by wildflowers. As he parked, a woman emerged from the entrance. She was striking, with wild, curly hair dyed in streaks of purple and green, piled atop her head like a crown. Her outfit was eclectic, layered with chunky jewelry that clinked as she moved. "You must be Adam," she said, extending a hand adorned with rings. "I'm Lila, the heart and soul of Eternal Bloom." Adam shook her hand, catching a whiff of something stronger than his perfume. Deeper, more alluring. "Nice to meet you. This place looks incredible." "Come, let me show you the magic." She led him inside, where rows of exotic plants bloomed under controlled lights. The air was thick with scents: lavender, rose, and that elusive note from Whisper of Eden. As they walked, Lila explained her process. These aren't just flowers. They're essences of emotion. This one evokes desire, she said, crushing a petal and wafting it under his nose. Adam inhaled deeply, feeling a strange warmth spread through him. They talked for hours, or so it seemed. Lila shared stories of her travels, sourcing rare seeds from hidden gardens in Morocco and India. Perfume is control, she murmured at one point, her voice dropping low. Adam nodded, entranced, his thoughts growing fuzzy. Unbeknownst to him, the fragrances weren't mere extracts. Lila had laced them with subtle psychoactive compounds. Nothing illegal, per se, but potent enough to induce suggestibility, especially in high concentrations. It was her secret weapon, honed over years of running this business from the shadows. By the time the tour ended, Adam felt euphoric, disconnected. Lila leaned in close. Now, darling, let's play a little game. Hand me your phone. Her tone was commanding, yet sweet. Adam complied without question, unlocking it for her. She scrolled through his gallery, pausing on photos of Olivia. Candid shots from their hikes, selfies, Olivia in her favorite lacy innerwear during a playful photo shoot that they had done one tipsy night. Oh, look at this little princess. So innocent, so flammable. Adam stood there, blank-faced, as she continued. You love her, don't you? But love is weakness. Tonight, you'll show her what real devotion looks like. To me. Under her influence, Adam drove home in a daze. Olivia was out with friends, giving him the perfect window. Lila's voice replayed in his head like a mantra. Loot her place. Burn those pretty things. Make her pay for stealing your attention. Oh, and don't forget to slap that. He rifled through Olivia's drawers, grabbing jewelry, her grandmother's pearl necklace, gold earrings from a trip to New York, and stuffed them all into a bag. Then, the bras. Soft, colorful fabrics that she'd collected over years. Symbols of her femininity and confidence. He piled them in the bathtub, doused them with lighter fluid from the garage, and struck a match. Flames licked up, acrid smoke filling the air. This is for Lila, he whispered, watching them char. Olivia returned hours later. Adam! What the hell happened? She cried, bursting into the bathroom. The tub was scorched. Adam, still in a trance, turned to her slowly. You deserve this, he said flatly. The sound cracked like thunder. Olivia reeled back, hand to her cheek, tears welling. What the hell, Adam? Have you lost your mind? He didn't respond, just grabbed the bag of loot and left, driving back to the greenhouse under Lila's texted instructions. She was waiting, her maniacal laughter bubbling up again as he handed over the goods. Good boy. Look at you, breaking free from that boring woman. She pocketed the jewelry, her fingers tracing the pearls with greed. Now, forget this ever happened. Go home and act normal. Until I call again. But Lila had no intention of calling. She vanished that night, dismantling the greenhouse operation in hours. The website went dark, the email bounced. By morning, the place was abandoned as if it had never existed. Authorities later linked her to similar scams across the Pacific Northwest using custom blended scents spiked with mild hallucinogens to manipulate victims, often men, into theft, or worse. Adam snapped out of it the next day, waking up in his car with no memory of the night before. Panic set in when he saw Olivia's missed calls. Rushing home, he found her gone, her side of the closet emptied. A note on the table. Don't contact me. I'm done.
I'm never gonna be friendly to the new kid again. It's not like they're a bad person, it's just something about them makes my skin crawl. All the kids at school gave him a wide berth and avoided him like the plague, but I tried to be nice, at least to start with. I mean, why wouldn't you be nice to the new guy? I've been a new guy before and I know how it feels. Or I thought I did. Hey, David, you're really cool. Thanks, man, you too. I hope you had a good first day. I did. Thanks. Say, I was wondering, do you want to come have a sleepover at my house? Yeah, sure, why not? I didn't want to. Heck, it wasn't like he was my friend or anything, but I still felt slightly obligated to be friendly to him, and so I decided to go along with it. The few minutes of school left passed quickly, and I was soon on my bike and headed over to the address he had given me. When I arrived at his place, it was all kinds of wrong. There were busted windows and broken furniture littering the lawn, and none of the lights were working despite it being nighttime. Still, I wanted to give him a chance, so I went in anyway. Once inside, everything seemed okay, if a little different from what I was used to. Strange paintings hung on the walls, and there wasn't much in terms of furniture, but we managed to make ourselves comfortable enough by playing video games together, until eventually we decided to go to bed. One thing that was weird, however, was that I hadn't met his parents. They didn't seem to be anywhere. I couldn't help but be curious, and so I decided to ask him why. David looked away from me. They're out right now. A party. Oh, I get it. Cool. I didn't get it, but I figured he had his own reasons. Maybe his parents were drunk and he didn't want to talk about it. We both got ready for bed and eventually fell asleep, or at least I did. I'm not sure if he ever did. I woke up in the middle of the night, a weird feeling making me stir from my dreams. I didn't know what made me wake up, but when I cracked my eyes open, I saw David standing there with a pipe raised above his head and an unsettling glint in his eyes. He was just standing there, grinning wider and wider as he watched me. I laid motionless, my breath stuck in my throat, terrified at what he was going to do next. What made it even worse was his appearance. He might have been short and slightly chubby, yeah, but his broad arms and hands were raised sky high with a pipe. His eyes had wrinkles on wrinkles beneath them, and his small mouth quivered with excitement. His fat folds jiggled beneath his clothes as he shifted slightly. After what felt like an eternity, he finally dropped the pipe and began to draw something on a drawing board I hadn't noticed before. I could only make out some of the details in the low light, but it looked like he was drawing a man and a woman, with both of them looking not so alive at the moment. Suddenly, however, he began drawing a third character. This was when I realized exactly what he was drawing. The third character stood above the other two, holding what was clearly a pipe. He was drawing a picture of himself and what he had done to his parents. My heart was racing, and the room started to spin as I tried to think of a way out of this situation. I was about to move when I realized he had noticed as well. He quickly wiped the drawing board off and turned toward me again, grabbing his pipe. I inched my fingers toward my phone, but he began to speak. You're not going to be able to call your parents, David. I'll do to them what I did to mine. What do you mean? Why are you awake? I tried to play innocent, but he wasn't buying it. I saw you stirring while I drew my picture. You saw it, didn't you? The fear crept up my spine. He lunged forward and grabbed my arm, dragging me away from the door. He dropped me to the ground, then quickly bolted out the door, locking it behind him. I heard him mumble something about making this quick as he scrambled to lock the windows as well. That's when it hit me. He was going to off me. He wanted me gone, just like his parents. I started to panic, but I also knew this was my only chance. I had to make it out alive. I ran to the window. I could hear myself struggling to find something outside, presumably something to silence me with, but I was already pushing the window open. I heard it creak and crack as it moved, but I pushed through and started to climb out. Once outside, I ran as fast as I could. The streets were empty, save for the occasional car or two. I heard a scream of anger behind me, and I turned around, watching as he ran from the house, his pipe held high. But I didn't stop running. I kept running until I reached the safety of my parents' house. The police came soon after I made it home. They said they found evidence that David had been living on his own since his parents had gone missing, but there was no proof that he had gotten rid of them. That's when I realized how lucky I had been to escape from David's house alive. The worst part about this, though, is that because the police couldn't find any evidence, he's not going to jail. Luckily for me, he'll have to transfer since he'll be sent to an adoption agency. What's creeping me out, however, is that on the day he left, someone slid a letter into my parents' mailbox with a note scribbled on it. If you want to meet my parents so badly, I can help. It freaks me out to think that sometime in the future, he might just escape the adoption agency and come back here for revenge.
It happened 3 years ago. My best friend Ashley and I attended a music school during the summer. We met this strange, skinny-looking girl named Elena. She was very close to Ashley, so she invited the two of us over to her place for a sleepover. I still remember when her dad, Mr. Van Buiten, came to pick us up from school. He was an unusually hideous-looking man. His head was balding and swollen, his legs short and stubby. His pale skin was quite hairy, and he had warts all over his face and body. Just one look at him made me want to gouge my eyes out. I felt uneasy as he drove. I would often catch glimpses of his small beady eyes gawking at me through the rearview mirror. He also made these heavy breathing noises, like he was gasping for breath. Things became even more unsettling when he started saying creepy things like,
"You girls smell very nice. I love teenage girls. I wish I could have 100 more daughters like Elena."
Finally, when we got to Elena's house, we went into her room and changed into our pajamas. We played truth or dare, pillow fights, and other fun sleepover games. Admittedly, I was having a blast, but I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. I often noticed her dad's beady eyes in the dark as he peered at us through the space in her bedroom door. After a while, Elena left the room to get us both some soda to drink. I tried confiding in Ashley.
Hey, I'm a little uncomfortable. I think something's wrong with Elena's dad. I think he's been watching us.
Yeah, I noticed that too, but it's just one night. We'll leave first thing tomorrow morning.
Her words calmed me somewhat, but little did I know things were about to get worse. Much worse.
I'm back with the soda.
Elena brought us a soda bottle each. It was a strange green-colored drink that I had literally never heard of before. I also noticed that the seals of the bottle caps had been tampered with.
Finally, I'm so thirsty.
Ashley gulped down the whole bottle in a heartbeat. I, on the other hand, left mine for later.
I gotta go to the bathroom. Sure, there's one just down the hall.
I made my way toward the bathroom. The hallway was very dark and gloomy. Aside from the eerie ticking noise of the old grandfather clock downstairs, everywhere was silent. Suddenly, I heard some muttering sounds and muffled crying coming from the ceiling. My blood froze, and my ears became hot as I tried to trace the source of the sound. It seemed to be coming from the attic. I inched closer to the attic door overhead. It had a long cord attached to it. For a moment, my paranoid mind entertained the thought of pulling the cord and opening the door to the attic. Suddenly, Elena's dad appeared out of nowhere.
"Susan."
His sinister, throaty voice made my skin crawl. I could feel the hair on the back of my neck stand on end.
Good evening, Mr. Van Buiten. Sorry, I didn't see you there.
I stuttered.
"What's the matter, Susan? Why aren't you with the others?"
Oh, I was looking for the bathroom, but I got a little lost.
"Oh, it's just down the hall. Let me know if you need any help getting there."
Thank you, Mr. Van Buiten. No, I will be fine.
I walked away from him as quickly as I could. He, on the other hand, didn't move an inch. He just stood there, staring creepily as I walked into the bathroom. Luckily, he was gone by the time I was done. I walked back to the room, and we watched a movie together. After that, we all went to sleep. I drifted off on a roll-up mattress, but I couldn't get much sleep because of how spooked out I was. Suddenly, I heard the thud of heavy footsteps close by, followed by bursts of heavy breathing. It sounded so close. I could almost feel it on my skin. I opened my eyes, and the footsteps quickly hurried away. Elena was no longer in the room, and Ashley was fast asleep.
Ashley, wake up!
I pushed and nudged, but she didn't budge. She was so knocked out that an explosion could go off, and she wouldn't even notice. Just then, I spotted red flickers of light beeping from within Elena's wardrobe. I opened the wardrobe, and to my shock, I found a portable hidden camera in there. It was recording everything that was going on in the room.
What the hell is going on?
Before I could pry any further, I heard sobs and whispers again. It was coming from the attic, but now it was louder than before. Emboldened, I went straight for the attic door and pulled down the stairs. Slowly, I walked up the attic. The stairs creaked with every step I took. I was petrified by what I found up there. Young girls, each one about my age, all dressed in white and tied up. There were at least 6 of them. Each was so bony and lanky that they probably hadn't eaten in days.
Oh God! What is this?
They begged me to free them. Some even asked me to take their lives. Just then, Mr. Van Buren emerged from the shadows.
Ah, Susan, I see you're eager to join the others. No worries. I asked Elena to help me bring a white dress that'll fit you like a fiddle.
In an instant, I slipped past him and tumbled down the attic stairs. I ran back into the room and tried to wake Ashley up.
Ashley, wake up! Wake the hell up!
I shoved and pushed, but no dice.
Try all you want! She's not going anywhere, and neither are you!
He inched towards me, desperate. I opened the bedroom window and jumped out to the yard below, limping and crying. I ran as fast as I could until I was able to hitch a ride to my house. When I got home, I told my dad all that happened. The next day, we went back to the house with the police but found no one there. Ashley was gone too. All we found were creepy recordings of all the girls who had come to the house for sleepovers. It's been 3 years since then, and there's still been no sign of Ashley. I'm just glad I was able to escape that madhouse, but I'm so deeply saddened that my friend wasn't so lucky.